Have you ever wore a uniform to work? A lot of us have, although I don't think we put too much thought into it. I remember they had pretty cool uniforms at this restaurant I used to drive by every day that advertised all-you-can-eat clams. Now, one day, my roommate and I decided we were up for the all-you-can-eat challenge. The challenge being you pay a certain amount of money, and then you try to eat more than that amount of clams in order to beat the house. Seems like a good idea, right? Wrong! Terrible idea. There's no way to win. Trying to beat the house at all-you-can-eat clams is like trying to win at all-you-can-eat spaghetti. It's just too cheap and plentiful. When the server brought out the first plate, it had over 100 fried clams on it. I said, I'm not sure I can eat this. And there were French fries too. Yeah, I see what you're trying to do. That's how they get you. No fries for me, only clams. And so I started eating as fast as possible because that's how I've seen them do it in those eating contests. And as luck would have it, I was able to finish that first plate. Barely. And not to look like a chump, I asked the waiter, bring more! And fortunately, the second plate was much smaller. It had maybe 25 clams on it, but I only ate one more clam, and I called it good. My roommate ate the entire first plate and the second plate. And then we sat there and looked at each other. We sat there for over an hour just digesting. I felt like a snake that had just swallowed a pig. It felt horrible. But maybe I did beat the house because I haven't had clams since that day. I literally had all I could eat forever for a very reasonable price. But not everything in my life was so simple. A few days later, I was asked to give a speech in front of a group of over 100 people. Now, I've done public speaking before, so it shouldn't be a problem. Usually how it goes when I'm going to give a speech in front of people, it's smooth up until about 10 minutes before going on stage. Then a little nervousness and anxiety will start to creep in, which I think is normal, and then it'll quickly fade, and I get up and do my thing. This time, however, was a little bit different. I was good at the 10-minute mark. It was the 5-minute mark when the trouble began. I glanced around the room to look for some reassurance and locked eyes with a few people who knew that I was about to get up and speak. They smiled and nodded their approval. I looked at my hands and there was a slight tremor and sweat was beginning to form on my palms, so I quickly wiped it on my pant legs. My breath was shallow and my heartbeat sped up. And then my mouth, I noticed, was dry, so I took a sip of water. Then I remembered, I need to breathe. So I took a few deep breaths. But I think I took too many because now I feel dizzy. I looked around the room to see if anyone would notice, but I couldn't focus my eyes. I hear them getting ready to introduce me, and my heart is just beating so hard in my chest. Thump, thump, thump. I'm sure everyone around me can hear it. It's so loud in my ears. Thump, thump. Am I about to have a heart attack? No. I close my eyes tight, hoping that it'll make me invisible, or maybe I'll wake up in my bed and this will all be a dream. But instead, the darkness comes for me. I try to run, but I can't. I try to fight, but I'm too weak, and it takes me. I retreat into myself. I whisper the words. I whisper the words, help me, like a wizard casting a spell with his last breath. An impossible wish. The introduction continues. I open my eyes and steady myself. Standing on shaky legs, I make my way over to the edge of the stage and let out a nervous laugh. Then I'm out there in front of the crowd. Lights, hot lights, attention. Starts off badly, but after a minute or so into my speech, I was able to settle in enough to get my point across. Later, when I'm safe at home, I look in the mirror and I say, I need to do something to ensure that never happens to me again. That night, I made a promise to myself, and I keep my promises. What I'd been feeling that day before going on stage was an extreme form of social anxiety. Social anxiety is a feeling some people get when they're around other people in a group, speaking to a group, or even just talking to one person. It's like feeling really nervous, panicky, or scared about what might happen or what other people might think of you. And it can go from mild to a full-blown panic attack. So what can be done? My roommate, who had the all-you-can-eat clams with me, is a police officer. And I noticed that he acted completely different when he was on duty compared to when he was off. He was a different person. I asked him about this, and he said, "When I'm in uniform, I have to conduct myself as a police officer." He went on to further explain that when he's in uniform, people are looking to him for answers and to solve problems. And regardless of how he feels, he still has a job to do, and he must do it. So I started thinking about the power of uniforms. A firefighter puts on a uniform to fight the fire. A doctor puts on a uniform to see the patient. Superheroes put on uniforms to battle the bad guys. And you and I put on workout clothes to go to the gym, or put on pajamas to let our bodies know it's time to sleep. There's a lot of power in a uniform. It helps people get into the proper mindset to do what they need to do. Now, my roommate didn't have to believe in his uniform to be a police officer. He simply had to recognize that when he puts the uniform on, he is a police officer and he has a job to do. And I also realized that a uniform doesn't have to be big where everyone can see it. You could have a small uniform that only you know about, and it can be just as powerful as the big overt uniforms. I needed a uniform, so I chose a bracelet. I said, this bracelet is my public speaker's uniform. When I put it on, I am a professional public speaker, and I have a job to do. So, fast forward to the next time I had to do public speaking. About 30 minutes beforehand, I put on my bracelet, my uniform, and I said, I have my public speaker's uniform on. Got a job to do. Sure, I got nervous a little bit, just a little bit, but I would touch the bracelet and say, do your job, and then I would do my job. So ever since implementing this strategy, I haven't had any panic attacks or issues with social anxiety. I even started applying it to other issues of my life that I might be anxious, such as dating. So did it make me good at dating? No! It doesn't make you good at something. It simply reduces your social anxiety so you can relax and be yourself, and that's the whole point. I felt like I was given a brand new life. In the article, The Uniform Effect, by Chris Loper, he states that a uniform sends your brain a signal about who you are, so it can be used to reinforce a chosen identity. So I believe what he's saying is we can choose a uniform that goes with the identity that we want to be. So, I want you to pick out a uniform for yourself, a personal uniform, and it can be a bracelet, it can be a necklace, socks, a ring, whatever. Pick something, and you're going to use it to set a boundary for anxiety. Anxiety might be out there, but it ain't coming in here. Set a boundary for anxiety, because uniforms transform. And since uniforms transform, who do you want to be? It could be as simple as picking out a uniform.